Alright, well that was pulling teeth. I got the exhaust manifolds off. And remember I was telling you guys, before you force anything, always check to see if they have extra nuts. So this is the driver's side. It was missing a stud off the very front, and I had 4 other ones. So I was thinking there was 5, right? I come over to this one. It has all its studs in place. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this little guy was hiding from me right here. So I took my time, I stood back and looked at it, and sure enough there was an extra bolt on there. Well, not extra, it just had all of its bolts in place. There's 2 studs probably broken off in the head on this cast iron head, but they might have just fallen out too. I won't know until I pull the head. But yeah, always check for those extra bolts, guys. And coming over here and looking at this. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be easy to get. We got overhead bolts right here, / nuts. Yeah, they're bolts on the outside, and there's going to be another set of them on the inside of the valve cover. And remember I told you I wanted to leave this valley pan on so no debris gets in there? Look, there's like a rock or something. I already pulled out spark plugs, both sides, manifolds, both sides. I pulled off the fan because that just kept getting in my way. I'm replacing that power steering pump. That'll be part of the parts coming in. And I'm going to have to figure out a new pulley system for the alternator, which went up to the AC bracket that was right here, the AC compressor. By the way, that thing weighed at least 40 pounds. That was outrageous. But yeah, we got all that off. This is like day 3, kind of screwing around. My goal is today to at least get off all of the cylinder heads, get the engine timed to 0, drain all the fluids, and not so much clean everything up, but have everything disassembled ready for assembly for when the parts come in tomorrow. I have all the bolts off of the valve covers, and we're about to pop them off and pop them loose right now. Right, nice little angle right there. They give you that little lip to do that, I think. Get this thing to pop loose. Of course it wants to fight me as soon as I turn on the camera. Dang, that is on there. It's like somebody glued it on or something. Okay, I got them popped loose. So what I did, these little ears where these pieces of the gasket are popping out, I just got under there, gave it a nice little twist with my bladed screwdriver. It's another example. Somebody must have had trouble sealing this thing up. I feel like they used a lot of silicone or something on there. There's no reason they should be under that tight. Alright, let's take a look. This is going to be the first one popping off, guys. This hasn't been off here in years. Oops. So far so good. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, look at all that silicone. Oh my gosh. That is, oh man, it's chunky too on the outside. They silicone the crap out of this entire thing. Oh my gosh. That's cool though. It still didn't seal. Go figure. Yeah, the silicone's not the way to do it most of the time, but it's like some black RVT. I appreciate their ambition, but if you look at the exhaust manifolds, here, let me take you off, show you really quick. This is the driver's side, the one we still popped off. Look at all this oil that's on the outside. That valve cover was leaking like a sieve. It was so bad it was actually leaking down and inside of the guy here. Let me turn on my flash. There you go. See how all that came down in there? That wasn't from burning oil. That was from a leaky valve cover on an already loose manifold. Alright, now we're going to pop off the other side here. Walk around to the other side. Maybe adjust our lighting just a little bit. That's a little better. Again, in that little ear right there. I think that's what those are there for. That's a smart engineer that did that. I put that in there for you. There it goes. Oy. At least this one popped off. Kind of came off in pieces a little bit. A big old chunk right there, but everything else came off in one piece. Let's see what we got inside here. Actually, that's not too bad. I don't really see any sludge. That's a good sign. That's a good sign of oil changes. Look at those factory valve springs. They're painted teal like the rest of the engine. Look at that. That's kind of cool. That's probably all original engine. I'm trying to remember how many miles are on this thing. Let's go take a look. I want to say it's over 100 because these odometers only go up to 99.99. Or it is the original 54,000 miles on this car, but I'm going to say it's probably more likely going to be 154,000 original miles on this 1969 Plymouth Fury 3 with a 383. So yeah, that's really fantastic to see something like that. Pop those two little covers. They came off the front and the back. These are kind of what was holding the edge of the valley pan seal in place. This is the front piece. Looks like it has a big old chunk right here. And this thing right here. Now this is all nice and loose. We're gonna pop this off and see what it looks like. It's nice and loose, no silicone of any kind on there. I don't know if that's what I'll be doing, but we'll see, whatever it's recommended. Sorry about that, I hit the pause button. Now, let's take a look down here in this valley. It's not too bad. See your lifters, your camshaft, all the way up and down, nice and easy to get to. God bless America. We drained all the coolant out, which was a lot. It's an old kitty litter pan. I'd say at least like 2 or 3 gallons came out into that thing. It's outrageous. I just realized something, that the alternator brackets right there are attached to that cylinder head. So yeah, I'm going to start taking that off, which is a good thing anyways. I did some research. They make a bracket. It's a weird triangle shape bracket for the alternator for when you do not have an AC system. It's like 40 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and get that ordered. So let's pull that alternator off now, and then we're going to pull the cylinder heads. All right, I pulled the alternator off while I'm in here. You know, it's already coming out anyways. It's going to get in the way pulling the heads. I'm going to pull the distributor. I just disconnected the one hold down bolt with bracket. Very important. Don't lose this. You got to make sure you're at top dead center on your number 1 cylinder. Number 1 cylinder is always the cylinder furthest from the flywheel. Flywheel's the back. There's a V. If you notice the V, it's not perfect. It's actually like this. So this is number 1 cylinder here. This is the intake valve. So I watched the exhaust valve on the exit of the exhaust stroke. That means you're coming back to the beginning of the intake stroke. When that was coming up, the exhaust valve was all the way up, and I was getting ready to come down on the intake. I got my timing marks set to 0, so I know my crankshaft and camshaft are exactly where I want it to be. We need to make sure that the cap is off and everything's out of the way. This one's just coming straight out, and this one's easy. It's just a blade. This is 180, so it's either on or it's 180 off. So we're perfect there. We got to also make sure when we pulled it out, make note that when we pulled it out, the rotor is pointed pretty much straight up or at number 1 cylinder there, not the other way. Alright, gonna remove the rocker arm assemblies here. I already broke the Torx earlier. Just make sure they're nice and loose. I'll start backing these out and put them in the cardboard so I know exactly which bolt came from where. So this came off. This is the very first piece you just saw right there coming off. I don't see a distinguishing mark up or down on this. It shouldn't make too much of a difference because that shaft remains stationary. If the shaft moved, I think it would definitely make a difference. We're going to be we're going to be bench testing all of these. Almost looks like it could have a little bend to these. What happens if you have pre-detonation or you're running too low of an octane, you peen and you knock, you peen and you knock, enough. Peen and knock enough, you are going to bend these push rods. When I worked on a different car, it was a high compression engine V8. This guy was putting 85, 87 in it instead of at least 89, 91. And well, he just kept flooring it. He heard this rattling noise. He thought it was weird and he lost a lot of power. Well, he bent like 3 of these push rods in the engine so bad. It was a miracle I was able to get them out without having to pull the cylinder heads, honestly. So yeah, make sure you're running your right compression ratio on these overhead valves. Otherwise, you're going to bend and break these off, and then you're going to have a dead cylinder, and nobody wants that. Did anybody see this coming? Wow. What is going on here? Someone, when they did the valve cover, and if we're intake, they must have accidentally dropped a glue of some silicone, and it wrapped around that push rod. That is funny. I'm going to leave it on there just so I know which one it came off of, just in case there's issues with that cylinder. That is funny. All right, for the interest of simplicity, we're going to focus on the one head first, and then we'll come over here and repeat what we just did. So I'm going to start working on loosening up all these head bolts. When you typically want to do reverse order as however these went on. So look up your torque pattern, do reverse order to be the best. But I'm not sure that's going to make a difference on this thing. These heads haven't been off since 1969 and 150,000 miles ago. So yeah, if I start having issues, I will go back and look at the torque spec. So yes, there are 9 bolts on the inside of the valve cover, but there's the other 8 outside underneath the exhaust. I'm going to hit those with WD-40 right now and start trying to break the torques on those as well. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and start pulling these head bolts now, along with some of the hardware that's underneath there. Like some of the spark plug guards are actually utilizing the head bolts to put those spark plug guards there to protect it from the exhaust manifold. Okay, I have got the, 17 head bolts off of this one cylinder head, and now we're gonna pop it loose. This thing hasn't been off here since the factory in 1969, 66 years. This thing hasn't been off here to my knowledge. I'm gonna give it just a little thing here. Oh yeah, that's coming off nice and easy. Kind of making me nervous. I don't want to go and sliding off. Ah, there's the coolant. Uh-oh, it's going in my oil pan. Okay, we're back. I noticed that it was like a river runneth over, so I just let it drain down for like 20 minutes, took a little break, came back out. Yeah, make sure you have pans ready for coolant when you pull your heads. I drained all the coolant out of this engine, I thought, and yeah, it was hiding a little bit. So here we go. This hasn't been removed in 66 years. This engine hasn't been apart. This is original 154,000 original miles on this 383. The bright side, yes, there's oil all over this engine and gunk and stuff, but that has acted as a protective wear for 66 years, and there's not really much rust on this guy. It was a California car covered in oil. So yeah, it's pretty relatively a rust-free car. I'm gonna do my best to not drop or spill this thing or whatever, what have yous. I'm gonna try to just grab it right here and right here. Oh, it's still pretty much attached. Oh, there we go. There's dowel pins where it's sunk on there. I might have to get a screwdriver and pop the backside here too. It doesn't feel like the gasket's really given. Okay, there it goes. Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you. There's more coolant. Oh, you little shit. There's something definitely on the back here. I think it's just the gasket. Probably all that silicone we saw, maybe another dab of silicone. Let's try that again. I got a good thing underneath the head I can grab here. A little lip. There it is. Oh my God, this thing's so heavy. Oh my gosh. Ugh. And a little bit closer, what we're looking at here on this engine, and the cylinder head for that matter. I'm gonna turn the bright on, the light. Obviously, there's some gunk going on there. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's just gunk. Cool. I thought this was all beat up right here from like a screw or something, but no, it's just some caked on bullshit. And some sea foam or whatever will take that right off. It's not too bad at all. There's a little coolant went in there because of the what I just did. Take that and get the coolant out of there right now so it doesn't leak down in the oil compartment, which already drained out. We're gonna get new in there anyway, so not a big deal. But yeah, looking at all that, that's not bad at all. These look like multi-layer steel gasket. Oh, there's chunks of debris still. I don't know how there's that much coolant in here. I hope we don't have like blockage. Maybe I'll just drop the that bottom radiator hose. Maybe the thermostat there is hiding some in the block. But I drained this whole thing down. It must have been at least 2 or 3 gallons of coolant that came out of this engine, so I don't know why there's still coolant in there. Hopefully it's not a big deal. I don't see any damage. Again, there was no blown head gasket on this at all, so it was a very clean oil and coolant system coming out of all this. Backward 604. I think that's another backwards 9. Right there. Yeah, do you guys know what those marks mean? Please let me know down in the comments. Yeah, that's very cool to see some original Detroit City stuff going on there. Let's come over here to this cylinder head and see what it looks like underneath. Set it there on its side. Oh yeah, those are definitely some corrosion there. Got your big old intake there. Whoops. Big intake, little exhaust, very cool. Looks pretty well put together, very cool. Again, there's that number again. Maybe that's not mirrored right there. Matching numbers for the head and block here. I'm assuming. Do you guys know what those numbers mean? Let me know. Very cool. And there's these numbers too on the casting. I don't know anything about it, guys, but I tell you what, for now, the aluminum heads are going to go back on this block, and we're going to see if we can get this thing running right. That's it for today. I got stuff to do, and tomorrow I will pull the other head. Now that I know what to expect, it should go a lot faster. Also, the parts came today, so we got an aluminum intake, the gasket kit, the power steering pump, the distributor. I want to say that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Until next time, guys, keep stacking, stack 'em high.